Kumusta, kababayans and 18? Yes, I am specifically mentioning 18 because not too long ago, I shared with you guys my experience at the SB19 Pagtatag Finale Concert, but I omitted to share my honest thoughts about their performance. Well, today is the day, okay? And I know that 18 will be watching. So I took some notes, yes, because I am a serious content creator on YouTube. I mean, if I weren't serious, would I be this consistent on the channel? Would I promise to go to the Philippines and go to the Philippines, actually go there and vlog, come back and share with you my vlogs? I don't think so. And still do it consistently. So yeah. So if you stick until the end of the video, I will address the elephant in the room, meaning my past comments about SB19 and my relationship with the 18 community. You know what I'm saying? And of course, if you stay until the end of the video, I will also tell you my bias, who I prefer, which member of SB19 do I prefer. So, before we start, as usual, maligayang pagbabalik sa aking channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beatmaker, and content creator on YouTube. And without further ado, let's get to it! So before I start telling you about my thoughts regarding the concert, I'd like to tell you what happened before and how I got the tickets for the concert. So before I even traveled to the Philippines, I was here in Montreal and I knew beforehand that there was going to be an SB19 concert in the Philippines in Manila while I'll be in Manila. So I did my best to get that ticket by myself, right? So I went on their website, I waited for the countdown to be over so that I could click on the link and purchase my ticket. Unfortunately, when that happened, when the countdown went to 0 and I saw it, get to 0, I just could not click on the link. The link was not functional, so I couldn't even buy my own ticket. So I was like, you know what? It's just not meant to be. It's okay. And then shortly after, my dear awesome friend Maymay Espiritu, contacted me on Instagram and mentioned that she could possibly get me a ticket for the concert. She wasn't sure, and she wasn't sure if it would be for the first day or the second day of the concert. So I get to the Philippines and she kept updating me, about how she would perhaps be able to get me the ticket. And eventually, she was able to get me a ticket for day 1. So shout out to Maymay Espiritu and the organization, The Gus, for getting me a ticket, okay? That was so nice of you guys and very exciting. So that took place on Saturday, the 18th of May. I was super excited, like the whole day I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm gonna actually watch SB19 live, not in Canada, not in the US, but in the Philippines, where SB19 are from and proudly from, okay? As a matter of fact, they sang not too long ago, O Bayan Ko, okay? Very proudly. And I reacted to it if you're interested. So that day, I take my Uber from my Airbnb and go straight to the concert place. And it took place in a huge mall. I don't remember, Araneta Coliseum, I think, or something like that. So I go there. The Grab driver just drops me off at the main entrance of the place, and there were so many people and the place was massive. I had no idea where to go to find the entrance of the concert. So I try to ask a few people here and there. They tell me roughly where it is. So I try to go there by myself, and I still got lost. I was like, no, I have no idea where it is. So I just messaged my Espiritu and asked her if she could help, and she obliged. I think she either called me on the phone or just we texted, and she was like, where are you? I told her exactly where I was, and she was like, okay, I know, stay there, we're gonna come and get you, because she was there with her friend. Shout out to her friend as well. So that's exactly what I did, and eventually they came and we walked together to the entrance of the performance, the SB19 concert. And unfortunately, my did not watch the performance with us. I don't really remember the reason why, but her friend did. So the problem for me with the concert before I even started watching the concert is that we weren't allowed to bring the cameras, like DSLR cameras, like big cameras, well, relatively big cameras, like the one, actually it was the one that I'm filming with right now, it's this big. You cannot film with that. You can only film with very small cameras, perhaps like the GoPro cameras or your cell phone. And in my case, thankfully, I had purchased a brand new phone before I went to the Philippines. It's the Samsung Galaxy S24, and the video and audio quality is really good. So that's what I used to film the concert. And I've got a lot of feedback from you guys who already watched my video of the concert and told me that you loved the audio-visual quality and that you felt like you were there with me, and I did that on purpose, guys, okay? I actually was very careful while filming the whole, well, not the whole thing. I couldn't film the entire thing because I don't think we are allowed. Plus, I wanted to enjoy some bits and pieces of the concert by myself without having the phone like this, But yes, when I did film, I was very careful to carefully zoom in and zoom out and everything, So after I entered, people started to recognize me, like 18 and I guess even regular Filipinos, who follow my channel started recognizing me. So, I took some pictures, said hello, and I even talked to a tita. So I'm gonna call her tita, okay? Because she was an 18 fan, but she was not a 20-year-old or the 20-year-old person, 30-year-old person, or even 40. I think she was in her 50s/60s, okay? She recognized me and she was like, I did not like you before because of what you said about SB19. And then she told me that because I am here in the Philippines and because I am here watching SB19 live and supporting them, that she forgives me and we're good and everything is okay. I thought that was so cute. And of course, I also met up with Nicolene Alay and her best friend. That I think that was the first time I met her best friend. She's so tiny and cute, my gosh. That's where I met her best friend, and yeah, we talked and we caught up and everything. For those of you who don't know, Nicolene Alay is my friend, Filipina friend, who managed to get me into the audience of It's Showtime, okay? Anyway, that's what happened prior to the concert. And what I liked before SB19 came on stage is the fact that there was like a host that I don't think we could see, we could only hear, that was trying to hype up, the crowd, aka 18, okay? By playing SB19 songs, asking the crowd to dance, and then giving them prizes for like the best dancer, the best this and that. That was very entertaining. I really liked it. Plus, they took that opportunity to promote brands, right? Because obviously SB19 are able to finance their concert thanks to brands, right? Like they collaborate with brands. And then all of a sudden the lights go down, okay? And like there's this music that comes on, and the big screens, on stage lit up, and you just see the Pagtatag, writing and everything. There was some type of countdown, and every time the countdown would advance, it wasn't really a countdown, it was basically like an animation of like band rolls just like going away like this, and every time that would happen, the crowd would go crazy. This is hands down the loudest crowd, the most exciting crowd I have ever experienced in my entire life. Hands down. My gosh, they were loud. And I think they would like literally hurt my ears, because it consisted, I would say 80% of them were female. All right, so women have very high-pitched voices. So if you have, a bunch of females, yell at the same time, trust me, it's gonna be loud and painful to your ears. But at the same time, it was very exciting. I mean, I was super excited. I could not believe it. And you can see it in my expression in my video. So in general and throughout the entire concert, the crowd was super fun and beautiful to watch and be part of. And the awesome thing was that I think before the concert, they were selling these colorful wands, and they weren't cheap. I did not get one, but I asked people next to me how much they got it from. I don't remember the exact price, but it was pricey. When they told me, I was like, oof, that's pretty expensive. But still, it's worth it, because you can, turn it on and change the color depending on the mood or the song of the performance, And with that, they were able to make like a beautiful wave at some point when the boys, or our mahalimas, asked the crowd to make like a wave, and it was nice to be part of it. Honestly, it looked beautiful with the lit wands. Woo, that was pretty cool. So as soon as the countdown was over, the Pagtatag trailer started playing on the giant screens on stage, and it's a trailer that I believe I reacted to. The crowd went nuts, and I really like the fact that they had a trailer to play before they came on stage. You know what I'm saying? It just like set the mood for the entire thing. And then, the trailer finishes, and the dancers, the SB19 dancers, come on stage, and there is this voice that sounds, a little scary, and that is like telling a story. And the way the dancers were dancing, the colors of on stage, that was very reminiscent of Michael Jackson and his music video / song Thriller. Okay, I was like, the boys clearly love Michael Jackson and perhaps grew up listening to Michael Jackson, because that intro, I was like, you guys are trying to do Thriller Filipino way, you know what I'm saying? But I still loved it, because my favorite artist of all time is Michael Jackson. So I was like, yes, I am for this, you know what I'm saying? So now I can actually tell you what I thought about their performances and how they sang, and I believe they sang very well. They stood out vocally when they sang specifically emotional songs like Mapa, when they sang songs all together and they were not dancing or jumping around, all right? And even though I really liked the concert, I can't in good conscience say that they sang perfectly and the 18 that I talked to actually agree with me. But worry not, because I did not expect them to sing perfectly, because they are total performers, meaning that they sing and dance at the same freaking time, and that is extremely hard to do. So I give them A+ for effort, but only, well, not only, it's pretty good, a B+ for their singing. But for the dancing, it's an A, that's for sure. Okay, so effort, A+, because they were trying their best to nail the singing as well, and the dancing at the same time. I give them an A for the dancing because I was impressed with their dancing, and they danced so much, and it was, there was some sexy dancing, there was some dance with swag and attitude, some beautiful synchronization, so that was impressive. The singing, because they had to dance and sing at the same time, the breathing is difficult and everything, so B+. But B+ is really good when it comes to total performers, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm asking this question to the people who went to their concert. Is it me, or I feel like SB19 members, the boys, seem happier when they are dancing compared to when they are singing? I feel like, look, they are all great singers. Some are better than others, but I feel like perhaps some of them prefer dancing to singing, because the energy that they brought, with their dancing was wonderful. And just looking at their faces when they're just dancing all together, doing their moves and everything, they seem so happy. But when they're singing, they are focused. And I don't know, I just don't feel the same type of happiness and energy when they're singing compared to when they are dancing. I also want to give a quick shout out to the guests of the concert. I had no idea who the guests were going to be. Yes, on the day of, I get to the concert, and I don't remember who told me, was like, do you know who the guests are? They did not want to tell me. They were like, okay, we want you to be surprised. I did not know. So when I saw Apple the App towards the end, show up and sing with them, I was like, what? Because I grew up listening to Black Eyed Peas, and he's part of Black Eyed Peas. And then he sang a cappella, bebo, be, be, bebo, bebo, be, bebo, bebo, be, Filipino, with SB19. I loved it, and the crowd went crazy for it, including me. And guess who was part of the crowd? Gary Valenciano. So before the concert started, the cameras spotted Gary Valenciano amongst, the crowd, and, they filmed him and everything, and everybody went crazy. So I may not have met Gary Valenciano face to face, but he was there, in the crowd with us. So that was very cool. They also invited Vocal Mix, the winners of The Voice Generations, if I'm not mistaken, and I've reacted to them on this channel as well. They are amazing. And they invited a DJ, and I had no idea who he was. I think his name is Terry Zhong. There you go. He did his thing, right? Like, I don't know, he played his EDM music for 5 minutes or something, and then he joined them on stage for the song that they made with him. It's like a super happy song. I forgot the name, but yes, that happened. Now let's talk about the individual performances of the boys, because those were a standout for me. I did not expect them to perform their individual songs. So my favorite, and I honestly did not expect this, was Pablo's, because it was super fun, and because the theme of the song was all about bikes, and they actually brought a bike or multiple bikes on stage. That was so much fun, so I really enjoyed it. The other one that I thought was creative was Josh's individual performance, because the theme was about vampires, even though he did look a little bit like slightly silly with the hair extension at the back, you know. I was like, that's too much hair right there. But still, he played his role really well. He even like bit a girl, you know, in the neck like a vampire and everything. That was fun. Ken's individual performance was badass. That's how I would describe it, you know, because of his outfit, because he was on the moving platform with his electric guitar, and it was also badass because of the actual song. The actual song sounded mature, you know, and just grimy, you know what I'm saying? Justin's individual performance, on the other hand, was my least favorite. Not because it was bad or anything, it's just that it was not appealing to me. Like, the theme of it was not appealing to me, but the crowd seemed to very much enjoy it. Now, let's talk about Stell's individual performance that I had high hopes for, because as soon as I saw that they brought a very popular Filipino pianist and composer, I was like, okay, so Stell is not gonna dance. This is going to be a Stell vocal performance, right? Look, I really liked it, but unfortunately, I did not like it as much as I thought I would, because he was pitchy during a good portion of it. And the 18 that I asked after the concert were like, yep, we agree. Although he did nail a very high-pitched note, you know, it was awesome. I was like, ooh, that's the Stell that I know, you know. Also, just a side note, the boys mainly spoke in Tagalog between songs when they were addressing the crowd. So obviously I did not understand much of it, but the crowd freaking loved it. I felt sometimes I felt like they enjoyed just listening to the boys talk, or having like this conversation with the boys, you know, like the crowd talking to the boys and the boys talking to the crowd, more than the actual performances, which is crazy. Seriously, I think the loudest, when they were the loudest, the crowd, it was when the boys were actually addressing them and just talking to them in Tagalog. Also, someone that stood out to me throughout the concert was Ken. And you may ask why. It's simple, because of his deep voice. Whether he was singing or just talking, every time I would hear Ken, I was like, whoa, this guy really stands out, because he's got such a smooth, deep voice. Of course, the boys were badass in their outfits, and they had a lot of swag and attitude, and they also were sexy, you know what I'm saying? Especially during their performance of I Want You, you know? Every time they would do their floor routine, meaning dancing on the floor, like laying down on the floor, like grinding on the floor, obviously 18 would go crazy. I mean, crazy, okay? Since it was mostly women out there. Also, the organization and production was top notch. Seriously, I loved the stage, I loved the big screens, and I loved the moving platform. There was only one minor issue I think that I heard once. There was feedback, and I think it was during the I Want You performance. I heard it just once, you know, like it went like very quickly, and that usually happens when one of the microphones is too close to a speaker or a monitor. And before I end my thoughts about the SB19 Pagtatag Finale Concert, I'd like to give a big shout out to their dancers, you know, because I feel like their dancers, because the SB19 boys are fantastic dancers themselves, right? But if it was just them on stage, it wouldn't feel as exciting. That's when their dancers come in, and their dancers were awesome. Okay, so big shout out to their dancers, because sometimes the boys would like get close to the crowd in like the small platform that's like in the middle of the crowd, and you have the SB19 dancers that stay behind and just populate the main stage and dance there and do their thing, and I thought they were awesome. There you have it. That was a summary of my thoughts of the SB19 Pagtatag Finale Concert. I did not expect the video to be this long. I don't even know why I called it a summary, because the video is very long. But now I will tell you who my favorite SB19 member is, okay? Number 1, Pablo. He's my bias, if you will. He's my favorite, because he may not be the best singer, because in my opinion, the best singer is Stel, and then it's Pablo. He may not be the best dancer, okay? I actually don't know who the best dancer is. I have to rewatch my video, you know, the concert, to actually tell. But he is the most consistent member of the group. Like, he does everything well. All right, and in my opinion, he is the creative head of the entire group, and I think he's the one who has a lot to say when it comes to the production of the songs. I think he's the one who works very closely with the beat makers, you know what I'm saying, with the artists, with the musicians. So he's kind of, you know, the creative person behind the group. So he's definitely my favorite, and I think he's also the best rapper of the group. Ken is also very good, but man, Pablo is very neat and very precise, and just he does most of it super well, you know. Consistency is key, and he's consistent, so I really like him. And the second member that I like is Stel, because Stel is a wonderful singer who can hit some incredible high notes, and you know I like my belters. The third one, I would say Ken. Yes, because of his deep voice, you know, and the fact that in his solo career he dares to be very different, you know, he tries some crazy things, and I like that. The fourth one would be Josh, and the last one is Justin. I don't know, Justin, I don't know, I think he's just too vanilla for me, you know. That's it, but my favorite is Pablo. Now, let's address my past comments about the boys. So I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember saying something about their makeup, saying that, you know, they perhaps wore too much makeup. I said that Stel reminded me of Michael Jackson, and you guys took it the wrong way. What did I say? I don't know, perhaps I mentioned that, I don't know, that maybe there was a song that I didn't like or something, or I don't know, but I don't remember exactly what I said. But the comments that come back often, that you guys remind me of very often, is the makeup thing. Oh yeah, that I said that, you know, there is a big inspiration from K-pop, you know. So these are the ones that come back often. And let me tell you, before I even explain things, I had discussions with 18s, so big fans of SB19, and discussions with just Filipinos who know of SB19, but they're not like 18, they're not like super fans or anything. And let me tell you something, they all agreed with me, all right? And I'm not joking, they all agreed with me, and some of them even were a little bit harsher than I was, and I don't even think that I was harsh, okay? So let me explain. The makeup thing. Yes, a lot of Filipinos think that perhaps they put on a little bit too much makeup to hide the fact that, you know, they are Filipinos, they look Filipinos. And I've heard a lot of Filipinos in 18 saying that it's too bad that they kind of try to look more like K-pop artists. You know what I'm saying? They would prefer them to just look Filipino, you know, and that's it. And then the Stell thing. Okay, the fact that he looks like Michael Jackson. I think I did not explain myself properly the next time. When I said that he reminded me of Michael Jackson, I was not thinking of Michael Jackson at 50 years old, okay, when he looked like an alien. No, I was thinking of Michael Jackson, Thriller Michael Jackson, you know, even though Stell obviously is not black, you know. But that's the Michael Jackson face that I was thinking about. And that's, for me, the best Michael Jackson face, when he was still handsome, he had that beautiful smile, you know, and everything. So that's what I had in my mind. So I wasn't saying that Stell was ugly or anything like that, okay? Just want to rectify that. Now, let's talk about the K-pop inspiration. All right, because yeah, Filipinos agreed with me. They were like, clearly they are inspired by K-pop, and it's not a bad thing. But Filipinos also told me that they wish their Filipino side would be more felt, you know, in their looks and in their music. And I actually had to defend SB19. I was like, wait a minute. No. Yes, they are inspired by K-pop, but I feel like the Filipino heart, the Filipino identity, the Filipino pride can be felt in their music, especially, you know, because they sing in Tagalog. Yes, they sing in English as well, but they sing a lot in Tagalog. And they have some songs that really feel Pinoy, like Mapa, for instance. You know what I'm saying? So I actually had to defend them a little bit, SB19, in that department. So maybe looks-wise, yeah, you know, when, like, if you take a random person, a foreigner, and you show them just a picture of SB19, and you tell them, so where do you think this boy band is from? Do you think they will say Filipinos? They probably would guess K-pop artists, you know, K-pop boy band, and not Filipino. And if you go back to some SB19 old school pictures when they just started, and you compare it to SB19 now, you will see a difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Stell had a nose job, right? He had a nose job, and I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. That's great. I mean, if he's happy that way, it's fantastic. Personally, I thought he looked great with his original nose, and he looks great with his new nose. Okay, but I'm just saying that there is a difference. Like they are trying to look a certain way. Maybe if you ask them, they're not gonna say, "Oh, we want to look more like K-pop artists," but they're definitely not. They don't look the way they used to. Okay, but in the end, as long as they're happy and 18 are happy, that's all that matters, okay? And in the end, I had a wonderful experience at the concert. I enjoyed it from A to Z. The energy was palpable. The energy was so contagious. I mean, you could tell that everybody was extremely excited. And there was an encore. Yeah, I forgot to mention that there was an encore. So after they were like done, the boys, you know, with their performance, they took pictures with all their guests and the dancers and everything, and they left the stage. And then they came back, you know, and we had an encore. So they performed one last song, and I think it was What, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. So after the concert was done and we started heading out, I of course met a lot of my subscribers who were also 18, and we took pictures, and we had fun and we talked, and I loved it. And shout out to all of you. Honestly, you made my experience very, very memorable. You made me feel at home. I mean, even the couple of 18 fans that watched my videos and disagreed with me, we're still very friendly, you know, so there you go. Those were my thoughts. My God, I've been recording for 50 minutes. This video is probably going to be like 45 minutes long. If you made it till the end, you're a trooper. Shout out to you. And of course, when I go back to the Philippines and SB19, you know, they come out with another album or another EP or just something, and they have another concert, I will be there, all right? I'm not gonna consider myself an 18 because I'm not a fan of, sometimes I throw out the word fan, you know, just because it's a habit, but I'm not like a fan of artists, you know. I don't revere artists, I don't idolize artists, so that's why I'm not gonna consider myself an 18, but I really like SB19. I like what they're doing. I like that they are representing the Philippines in the way they are, you know, outside of the Philippines, and they are doing it really well. Like, everything that they're doing is very, very professional. I like the fact that they have gotten to where they are today, you know, and I will keep supporting them. So now it is your turn to tell me in the comment section below your thoughts about the concert, if you've attended the concert or if you watched it through or via my video, you know what I'm saying? Maraming salamat po. If you have enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.